Alright, in this video we are going to take a look at how we can use Adobe Illustrator to first generate, using their generative vector graphics feature, like a little picture of a fish, and then how we could go through and use their basic shaped tools like the ellipse tool, the rectangle tool, and the polygon tool to create a simplified version of that AI generated art, and then how we could, and that's what you're seeing up here, how we could take that simplified version and turn it into a laser cuttable silhouette that we could then hand paint and have some fun with in the Catalyst lab. So this is kind of the three stages, starting in the middle, then the simplified version, then the silhouette of that simplified version. So we're going to go ahead and create a new document, and I'm just going to create one that is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. You can always change to inches in this unit, or you can just type in like I did 8.5 IN. We're going to type in the dimensions we want of our document here, select our units, and then we're going to make sure we're on RGB color and hit create. That's going to create for us a new blank artboard that is the size of a standard sheet of paper. And so we might even go ahead and we're going to draw using our rectangle tool, which you can either hit M or you can come in this toolbar. If you see any of these icons, just click and hold on it and grab your rectangle tool. But that's how we're going to tell Illustrator the rough aspect ratio of what we want it to generate. So for a fish, I might want to see it from the side, so I'd generate kind of a wide rectangle. Now once I've created my rectangle by clicking and dragging, I'm going to go over to generative vectors or generate vectors. If I click on that, I can give it a prompt, and so I might say a cute fish with glasses and buck teeth. We have some options down here. We're going to choose subject because we don't want to create a whole scene, we just want to see the fish. In terms of effects, we might choose from one of these art styles. I think minimalism or isometric is likely to give you results that are pretty easy to simplify. So I'll choose minimalism. And then color and tone, I'm just going to leave it on auto as it is. So I'll hit generate. It's going to think for a moment, looking at that rectangle that I had selected when I hit this button, the generate button before. And it's going to give me 3 variations according to my prompt, a cute fish with glasses and buck teeth. So the first one looks kind of sharkish. If I click here, I'll see a second one. That's interesting. It generated the fish, but it also has a face on its side. That's just AI nonsense. And then this one has kind of wonky perspective since his face is facing us, but his head is facing sideways. Maybe he's a flounder. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and go with this third option here. And so now I've got this in my page as just a piece of artwork. So I'm going to go ahead and roughly center it on the page. I can hold Option and Shift and grab a corner, and that will preserve aspect ratio and scale it from the center to make it a little bigger. So here's my AI generated fish. Now of course I didn't make this, my work is not done. I've done really nothing as an artist yet. So I'm gonna click on this, and first thing I want to do on the properties panel is reduce the opacity a little bit to make it easier to see what I'm doing in the next steps. So I'm just gonna reduce that opacity down around 30 something %, and we can reverse that later. Now if I click on layers, that's layer 1. That's my fish is what's on that layer. I'm going to click this little plus box down below to create a new layer, and that'll be my layer 2. Now I actually want layer 2, let's try this, putting it below layer 1. And if I lock layer 1 by clicking right here, now I can't select my fish or I accidentally modify it, but I'm working on layer 2 where I can modify things. So I might start by capturing the overall body shape of this fish, which is roughly elliptical. So I'm going to click and hold on the rectangle tool to grab the ellipse tool. You can also just hit L. And I'm going to start drawing an ellipse, maybe at the front of his head and pulling up until it looks about right. If I click this little black and white set of squares down here, I'll get an ellipse that has a white fill and a black outline. Right, I'm not really seeing the white fill right now. I wonder if I put this on top. Okay, then I would see it. Okay, so we'll leave layer 2 on top of layer 1. But I can take my my shape that I've added here and just kind of stretch it until it matches the fish's body a little bit more closely. And that to me looks close enough. So I've got the overall big body shape, and then I might want to use my ellipse tool to create 2 small ellipses for the tail fins. So I'm just going to look at that tail fin and create an ellipse that's roughly the size and aspect ratio of it. Then if I hover outside the corner, I can rotate that a little bit. Anytime you want to go back to a regular mouse, either hit V or click on this black selection tool up here. And I could just kind of rough that in. I was pretty close, but I might want to make it a little bit longer and maybe a little wider in this direction. And then I have the option to Command C, Command V, copy and paste that ellipse for the other fin. And I can go in and rotate it similarly. So maybe this fin, maybe I want to make this one slightly skinnier so they're not totally identical. That looks okay. We've got kind of our 2 fins. And then what's left looks to me like 3 triangles. Now there's a few ways we can create triangles. One way is to use the polygon tool, and you might just click one time and say that I want 3 sides instead of 6 or whatever it defaults to. If I grab my selection tool, now I've got a triangle, and I can go through and scale it around and change its shape, but it's pretty much staying a triangle that has 2 sides of the same length. So I might want that, but I might not. And so another way I could do this is by using the pen tool. So if I hit P for pen, or I click on this icon over here, I can just click where I want to add points. And if I just simply click, they're going to be all hard corner points, which is what I got there. I have my little triangle drawn. I could also use this white direct selection tool, or hit A, to round the corners of my triangle. And if I do it with all of them selected, it's going to round all of them uniformly. I also could click on just one corner and round just that one corner. And go back to my regular selection tool. And now I've got a reasonable approximation for where my fish's top fin was. I might want to, however, avoid this little in-cut area. And so if I've got my triangle up here where I want it, but I want to move these 2 lower points, I'm going to again grab that white direct selection tool, and that allows me to manipulate individual points of a shape. And so I can just click once on the point, and then I can click and drag it. And that preserves the other points while moving that one point. So I might repeat that process with the pen tool and create a really basic triangle that looks a bit like what I had in the original picture. I'm going to call that good enough for that one. And then I'll use my pen tool over here to just vaguely kind of match this other fin. And I might use this direct selection tool, or hit A, to round this outer corner a little bit like is in the picture, and move that into place, just like we did above. So remember, this tool, this black one called the selection tool, you can access it by hitting V. That works like you're used to your mouse working. It's going to let you grab whole shapes and resize and rotate whole shapes. The white mouse one, the direct selection tool, allows you to grab individual points and move just that point, which changes the overall shape it's a part of. Both are useful. It's just about using the right one at the right time. So the pen tool, I'm going to go ahead and create one more triangle, very simple, back here for this part of the fish, which if you've taken marine bio with Vukovic, you'll know is called the caudal peduncle. But that one looks like it's in relatively the right position. So I've got my fish kind of well covered up with shapes that vaguely match it. Now, of course, the original fish has a face. My fish doesn't have a face. And so there's a couple ways I could deal with that. One, I could put layer 1 on top of layer 2, so I can now still see my layer 2 shapes, but I could come in here and use that ellipse tool to create circles for the eyes. Now I've got to make sure that I have layer 2 selected. It looks like I'm trying to draw on layer 1 for some reason. I don't want to draw on layer 1. Okay. So if you want to make a circle when you're using the ellipse tool, just hold shift and it will preserve that it's a circle. If you want to make a circle from the center point, hold option at the same time, and now you can draw from the center of the circle. So I could go through here and use some more simple shapes to create my glasses. Right? This arch I might just simplify down to a rectangle by connecting it with a little rectangle like that. Okay. But I could go through and put some of the basic features of this fish in. I'm going to draw an ellipse for each of these little cheeks, and I'll leave the mouth up to you how you would want to do it. But if I hide my first layer, now we can see it kind of looks a bit like the original fish. Now, this is one of the two things we originally set out to make. We want to have this simplified colored version that we could print out with a regular 2D paper printer. And we want to have this silhouette of that, which we can send to the laser cutter, and it will cut out this outline out of a piece of wood or something like that. And then we can paint on this and make it look however we'd like. So, of course, the internal details we don't want to cut out with a laser cutter. We're going to paint those back in. So we kind of need to do two things here. First is, let's go ahead and highlight everything we've got on layer 2 and hit group. You can also do Command G. So now when I grab one of these, they all move together so I don't accidentally lose the shape I was working on. So I'm going to drag this up where I can kind of see it. And then I'm going to unhide and unlock layer 1. And now I'm going to move this fish down below so I can kind of look at both of them side by side. If I go back to the properties panel, I can turn the opacity of my AI generated fish back up to 100%. And now I can kind of see both. If what's really neat is I can click on this, I'm going to ungroup it again so that I can work with individual shapes for now. If I click on one of my shapes and I hit the letter I for the eyedropper, I can now click on a colorful part of my document and it will color it just like that. So if I click on this part that was the body, now that shape is colored like the body. And I can go through, hit the I button when I have something selected, and color my simplified forms just like they were colored in the original, which is kind of useful. So you don't have to stick to what was in the original. You can get really creative if you want to go ahead. Maybe I'll give them a blue Cado Blanco. You can also just click on fill here and you can choose any color from there. Or you can double click on this square over here to get the full range of color, and you can choose whatever colors you like at whatever brightness and saturation values you like to make your fish look the way you want it to look. So I hope that you'll take this much further than I've taken in this quick demonstration, but that you'll have some fun creating a funny looking little fish and coloring it and so on. So what I'm going to do at this point, because we're kind of done with our reference, but we don't want to delete that. That's going to be part of maybe what you turn in or what you show off. So I'm just going to hide layer 1 so I don't see it for now, and create one more layer. This is where I'm going to create my laser cuttable version. So if I take all of this stuff that's on layer 2 and I hit Command C, and then maybe I hide layer 2, on layer 3 I can paste all that stuff. And on the properties panel, there's something called Pathfinder, and I can choose Unite. And what that's going to do is simplify all my forms, taking their union so I get a single outline of my shape that is laser cuttable. Now this one is a little bit likely to break at this thin point, but overall it looks good. It looks ready for the laser. And now I can see all three of my versions of the fish. I might want to regroup all the stuff on layer 2 so I don't accidentally mess it up. But there's my layer 2 version, here's my original version, and here's my laser cuttable version. Now for the final part of this, I should save my work, and for this you're going to actually want to choose to save it on your computer. You're just going to give it your name and save it somewhere where you're familiar. So I'm going to put mine in my downloads folder. That way you can submit your work as a .ai or Adobe Illustrator file. The other thing you might want to do is to get this version ready for printing out on sticker paper. We're going to create another new document by going to File, New, or hitting Command N. We'll use the same size document as before. So this is a standard size sheet of paper, and I'm going to come into here and copy my little sticker fish and hit paste. Now this is too big for a single sticker, so I'm probably going to hold Shift and drag him from a corner to make it a little bit smaller. And now I've got a single copy of my sticker. What you can do is hold Option and just click and drag, and that's going to create more copies of your sticker. So I might go through and tile a few of these out on my page. This one's probably too close to the edge of the page, but that looks pretty good. I might be able to get them a little closer, but the idea is you're going to hand cut these out, so you probably want to leave yourself a little room for cutting around. So it looks like I could probably fit about 5 of these at this scale on this type of page. And so this one's ready for printing on a traditional printer. So I'm going to hit again Command S to save. On my computer, I'll call this Mitchell Geist, and then I'll add for printing, and save it somewhere I'm familiar with, like downloads. Now both of those files, if I go to Finder, for printing and the regular one .ai, these can both be submitted for printing. Now the printing one, I guess, easier to print than Adobe Illustrator is actually probably if we were to export this. So File, Export, Export As. Now I have the option to export that as a PNG, and that's just going to save your teacher a step. So let's say when you go to turn this in, you'll have a regular AI file that's got all 3 copies, as well as an exported PNG that's got your multiple copies. Now you still have this saved as an Illustrator file for yourself, so that you have the option to go back in and edit. If I decide I want to make these bigger or smaller, the AI file is the one I can edit, but the PNG is the one that you want to submit for turning into actual stickers to your teacher. So I hope that you've found this helpful, this little tutorial on how we could generate a fish and then create a simplified couple of versions of it. And I hope that you have fun with your project and make your fish a bit more thorough than mine for the sake of example. Thanks.